The man that's headlining on Saturday joins us right now, and that is Chris Eubank Jr. Chris, let's jump straight to it. It was supposed to be Sven Albert. He's tested positive for COVID. You now have a replacement, and well done to the team to get a replacement so late in the day. Antolo Muratav replaces him, I think ranked number 7 in the WBA. So it's a good opponent. So lastminute.com. How are you? How's your preparations? How has this hindered your preparations?
Good morning, gentlemen. I wouldn't say that it's hindered my preparations at all. It's, it's a new opponent, but good record, experienced guy. And, we've been there and we've done this before. This isn't the first time this has happened in my career. You have to adapt, and that's what sparring is for. I've sparred guys that are, 5'6", and I've sparred guys that are, 6'4". It's just, you get used to every shape, every body type, every fighting style. That's just what you do. That's part of your job. So I'm sure whatever this new guy will bring, I'll have an answer for on Saturday night. Was
there any talks of the fight being cancelled completely? Again, getting an opponent, a meaningful opponent, so close to a big fight card on Saturday. You don't normally find opponents that lastminute.com. Was there any talks about this actually being called off?
I think they had a few backup guys. The Salem brothers, Sky Sports, are very professional, and so they would have told this guy just to be ready, just in case. He's fought twice recently, and he was getting ready to fight again within a week or two. So he's already in training camp. He's already fit and ready to go. So it wasn't an issue getting this opponent in so last minute.
Chris, I know before the original fight you were getting a lot of guidance from Roy Jones Jr. Is that a relationship that is still ongoing, and how much help has he given you to prepare for obviously a different opponent now?
Yeah, Roy is. We're here together in London now, and we've been together for the last 2 weeks. He's been staying at my house in Brighton. The knowledge, the guidance, the advice, and the training he's put me through and given me has been priceless, and it's a blessing that I met him. I met him about 1.5 years ago now, and I've been with him ever since, and I've learned a lot.
And on the subject of guidance and advice, I know you were at the AJ fight at the weekend. Do you think he was given the right tactical advice from his corner, or do you think if they get the rematch, he'll do things very differently?
I'm sure he will most definitely do things differently in the rematch. He has to, otherwise he will lose again. In terms of the advice he was getting in the corner, no, he wasn't getting the right advice. He should have been sent out there, to war. He should have been given the war cry and told that he was down on the cards and that he needed to knock this guy out. Because that was what the case was, from the 5th, 6th, 7th round. He was down, and he needed to take this guy out. And I don't think that that wasn't really the mindset he had. Obviously, every man has his own game plan, and you can't say what should have been done and could have been done. But for me personally, I just feel like there should have been a fire lit up under him a little bit more. But I'm sure he'll recoup and come back stronger in the rematch for sure.
Given the competency of the training regime that was around him and the level of trainer was in his corner, can you understand in any shape or form why the advice that you're offering him wouldn't be the advice that someone with the level of competence that Rob McCracken would have given him?
Listen, every man's different. Every trainer is different. Everyone sees a fight going a different way. For whatever reason, maybe he didn't feel that he was down. I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. But just from me watching the fight and watching the fight back afterwards, that's just the advice I would personally give. I'm not a trainer though, so.
No, I'm making an observation because you were making an observation on a trainer that has a very high level of regard within the industry. Looking at you, there were some observations made about you in the last fight that you were falling in between two stools, that you looked more like someone that wanted to be Roy Jones Jr. than someone that knows his own identity. What's your sort of response to that?
You know, I'm learning. I'm learning from a new coach, and this coach is a legend. I'm taking in as much as I can. I'm absorbing as much information and as much knowledge as I can, and I'm using it. I'm trying to use it. I'm not trying to imitate. I'm not trying to be something I'm not, because when you do that, you're going to get found out. You're going to get hurt. You know, you've got to do what comes naturally to you. But I feel like the things Roy is teaching me do come naturally. We have that same kind of athletic ability. So I'm able to implement the things he's telling me to do. You know, it's not, and I feel like everything he's told me and showed me and taught me has been beneficial. If it wasn't, then
you wouldn't be utilising him. At the age you're at now, Chris, there's an observation that could be made. I made it of Derek Chisora, and I'll make it of you. Every time you've stepped up to world level, you've got beat.
That's harsh. No, that's not true.
You got beat by Billy Joe Saunders. You got beat by George Groves.
James DeGale was world level.
James DeGale, in the incarnation that Chris thought wasn't James DeGale that beat fighters
Still
that he
a
fought
very
previously.
good James DeGale.
Do you feel, I mean, obviously this is a loaded question, but the answer will probably be yes, that you're on a direct path to a world title?
Absolutely. You know, I'm always looking for that next world title shot, and the path, especially now that I have Sky Sports fully behind me, is set. So, you know, within the next 6 months, I will fight for a world title, and you know, I've stepped up. I fought a lot of good guys, and you know, people always like to say, "Oh yeah, you know, every time you step up, you lose." You know, the Saunders fight was, you know,
split decision. That
a split decision very early on in my career, and it could have gone either way. So you know, and I fought, you know, I fought very experienced and good fighters, whether they're in their prime or not. You know, you still have to go in there and do it. So it's easy for, you know, people to say that, but at the end of the day, I've had an awesome career. You know, I've stamped my name on the sport. I've made a lot of money. I've done a lot of things in my 32 fights that most fighters haven't done.
But Chris, you must want to, like we've spoken before, I know you look out there at the landscape at 160 or 168. I know you can still probably make 160. You must look at the fighters that are out there and think, I need to kind of be in that mix now, whether it's Golovkin,
Absolutely.
Canelo, Charlos.
That's what it is. That's what we're doing. That's why, you know, that's why I went to Pensacola, Florida, a year and a half ago, and spent a year and a half on a farm. You know, I didn't have to do that. I'm comfortable. You know, I have a nice place in Vegas. I have a nice house in England. I could have stayed there and chilled. I went out there to, you know, to improve, to get better, to pursue the dream of becoming a better fighter, and you know, and continuing on this path, to be able to get myself in a position to fight for these big fights over the next couple of years, and win them. You know, this is we're on that path. We're on the brink. December will be a big name or a world title fight, and that's how it's always. I mean, that's how it's going to be every single time moving forward.
Who are the potentials, Chris? Just before you go, who are we? You say big name world title fight. Who are we looking at? Are we looking at Billy Joe? Is it the winner of Golovkin Murata? What are we thinking?
Any world champion, any big name, domestically. Yeah, I mean, the Billy Joe Saunders fight is always going to be an option if it can be made. You know, you've got Charlo, Demetrius Andrade, Golovkin, domestically, Liam Williams. You know, there's a lot of options out there for me. It's just the path I want to take, and but what's for sure is it's going to be, you know, like I said again, a big fight.
The Billy Joe one's going to be difficult, though, isn't it? A side, B side arguments between you two already.
Is it going to be difficult? I mean, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. I mean, if he makes it difficult, then it will be. But I mean, you know, he doesn't really have any other options, and he said he wants to fight. So if he's serious about it, it should be able to be made. You know, time will tell, but the fight will happen, 100%.
I thought I have to say, Chris, we had him on the other day, and he said the exact counter opposite to what you've just said. He said he doesn't want to fight. He said, as far as he's concerned, he thinks he's done his bit and reached his surmount, or reached his mountain, fought Canelo Alvarez. And if you fight Billy Joe Saunders, if it were to happen, that's not for a world title.
He did say, though, that the one fight he would take is Chris Eubank Jr.
But he didn't, because he came on this show with Jim and said, I don't see why I need that fight. And the scale of it would have to be financially enormous. But going back to Chris, that's not a world title fight, Chris.
But it's a big fight.
Sure, but
Chris did say world title fight or big fight,
Okay.
Simon. It's a big fight. It sells out the O2 Arena.
Okay.
It does
Yes.
that. Yeah.
I did say that, and Saunders has been very vocal about wanting to fight me for a £5 million.
I'm not surprised, Chris. You ridiculed him.
Price.
You ridiculed him. I wasn't over impressed. I think fighters do say things, and I understand there's rivalry, but you went straight for him after the Canelo Alvarez fight, and you took the mickey out of him against about someone that got hurt in a fight. And I'm sure if the roles were reversed, you wouldn't have been over impressed with that.
Simon, Billy Joe's done exactly the same thing to Chris. When George Groves beat Chris Eubank Jr., Billy Joe was on it as well.
Okay.
They both go back and forth. They're both the same people, if I'm honest with you. That's why the dislike's there, and that's why I think it's a big fight. Chris, look, good luck on the weekend. Fingers crossed it is a big fight in December, world title fight or a big one. But good luck. Remember, you can hear Chris Eubank Jr. in action this Saturday evening. Adam Catch will host Fight Night from the SSE Arena at Wembley alongside Spencer Oliver and Gareth A. Davis. The undercard action, though, kicks off on talkSPORT 2 from 7 o'clock. Then all the action switches to talkSPORT from 9.
Jim White and Simon Jordan, Monday to Thursday morning, 10 till 1. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.